I'm joined alongside Marion Reneau, who faces Cat Zingano at UFC Boise, July 14th. Now, how are you doing today, Marion?
I'm doing good.
Good. What have you been up to? Tell us a little bit about your day.
Today is actually a recovery day for me, and I
Hmm.
don't really get a true recovery because I still have to come to work. So I've been at work all day. I'm on my lunch inside my office. So just been teaching pretty much all day.
So you're a busy lady, aren't you? You teach, you're a mother, you're a fighter, and I saw you do a little bit of photography as well. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Wow.
I tell my students every day I have three jobs, so I don't want to hear you guys complaining because I'm constantly doing something, except on Tuesday. Tuesday is my day off.
Okay, and I think you need that day off as well. Um, yeah. What do your students think about you fighting in the UFC?
I think it's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And some of them, it's kind of surreal to them, especially when they see me on TV. They're like, I can't believe she's my teacher. Like, she's actually my teacher. I see her every single day. I do get a few of them who ask for my autograph, and I tell them, hey, you can have my autograph when you can give me 20 push-ups. So I only had a few who've given me 20 push-ups, and I've given them my autograph.
Wow. So,
But it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun for them. They get excited. They get excited for the fights. Their families get excited for the fights. It's kind of like a community thing.
that's nice. That's nice. So, how do you fit everything in? What's the kind of typical week for you in terms of kind of getting the training in and teaching?
Mm, I don't know. I just make it happen. I do get a prep period where I don't have a class, and
Hmm.
I do take that time to train. So we do have a weight room. It's fully loaded, and we have a track outside with stadium stairs. So during that prep period time, I'm usually working out, except for on Tuesdays. And I usually try to get in my strength and conditioning. I try to get in some cardio, some sprints, some road work, like 2 or 3 miles. So typically I'll do that. Then I'll finish off my day, go pick up my son, come back, fix him something to eat and myself, then go to boxing. Then after boxing, I have jujitsu. Then after jujitsu, I might have a long run depending on what I did during second period. So it's completely full. There's no room for error. So nobody can have a mishap during my fight camps because everything is scheduled.
Wow. Okay. I mean, what made you want to, what made you get into MMA in the first place?
Well, first, I've always liked fighting. I grew up watching boxing with my dad, and so that has always been something I've wanted to do. In fact, my dad used to box in Belize
Oh,
when he
okay.
came to the States, and he had my brother and I. He would be in the backyard teaching my brother how to box, and I'd be like, I want to learn, and no, no, very typical old-fashioned guy. Boxing's not for women; it's for men. Um, women are supposed to be cooking was what he said. And ironically, my brother became the cook and I became the fighter. But in all actuality, I was a single mother at the time, about 10, 12 years ago, and I really needed money. I was living paycheck to paycheck, even though I was a teacher. I was struggling. I was struggling bad. In fact, I was struggling to the point where I was starving myself just to make sure my son got food to eat, and just so I could have gas in my car to get to work. So when I seen a bout against Gina Carano and Chris Cyborg, I thought, oh my God, that looks so cool. And they get paid. And so that kind of just started the rippling effect of me, doing MMA and getting into mixed martial arts.
Wow. So I think you've had about 8 fights now in the UFC.
Yeah.
And then you went professional, I think it was at 2010.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
talk a little bit about that journey and what was it like to compete professionally for the first time?
Competing, it wasn't what I expected. I had never trained with a girl at that time. To this day, I still don't train with many females, maybe once in a great while, but at that time, there was no females, and all the guys that I sparred with were 180, 170 pounds, had a 72-inch reach. They were huge. So I didn't know what to expect going into this fight, and I just remember how tired I got, the adrenaline dump. I wasn't ready for that. Nobody prepared me. I'm like, why am I so tired? I felt like I couldn't even raise my hands until they explained it afterwards. And honestly, it was going into the third round, my corner says, do this for your son. And I don't know, at that time, it just sparked like, oh my God, you're right. This is why I'm doing it, is for my son. So I managed to finish with a TKO that round. But I just remember just not being able to put on a T-shirt afterwards because my arms were so dead. I couldn't feel my legs. It was a humbling experience, but it prepared me for the bouts after.
And you're coming off a big win over Sara McMann. Talk a little bit about that win, because you had a bit of a tough first round and then you managed to pull off the submission in the second. So talk a little bit about that, because of course she's a big name.
Right. It was a good matchup, and it was one we had anticipated us getting.
Mm-hmm.
We knew the first round was going to be hard. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew exactly what she was going to do. We just didn't know it was going to be so soon. And when I was in that position on the ground, she did an amazing job at keeping hip-to-hip contact and not giving any space, none whatsoever. We didn't want to frame up and push her away because she has a really good head and arm choke. So we were aware of her strengths, and we were trying to not give it to her. So I had to last that round. And in all honesty, after that first round, I came back with a kind of a chuckle, and I was like, well, that round sucked. And my corner was like, focus. So I had to refocus myself. It wasn't something where I was down on myself. I knew it was going to be a tough first round. I didn't think it was going to be that tough. So I knew that second round, I wasn't going to let that happen again. And ironically, the triangle finish that I got, I envisioned that triangle finish the night before. That same exact takedown to a triangle. It was something that I saw in my head, and it's something that I was able to perform, so that was kind of exciting.
Wow. And you spoke after the win about who you wanted next. Of course, the title is in your sights. You said that you wanted the winner of Zingano Vieira or Nunez and Pennington. Of course, Zingano didn't win the fight, so were you surprised or a bit kind of disappointed that you didn't get the winner? Or, what was your kind of reaction to getting Zingano?
Well, I kind of figured that that's primarily what the UFC does anyways. They match winners with winners at that time. But I think the conflict that they were having was Vieira was supposedly, and I don't know, she was injured at the time.
Right.
And she couldn't accept a fight. And there was already something booked for Raquel and Amanda. And I think they wanted to see at least one more. I don't know what their thoughts process is on that. They said, listen, this is what we have for you. Do you want to take it? Or you can wait umpteen months before we give you another opportunity. And I really want to stay active. I really want to put my name out there. I really want to prove myself. I feel like that's been my entire life, is sitting there and constantly proving to everybody that I can do this. I can be what you think I can't be. I know I can. So I took the fight. It's a good fight. It's a good matchup. She's a well-rounded fighter. So it's out of sight, out of mind. It's now time to focus.
And again, she's another big name for you, but she did have that big layoff. Did you watch her last fight, and what did you think of her performance?
I did watch her last fight, and I thought she did exactly what we figured she would do. I'm not here to judge her performances, just because we learn as fighters from every one of our performances, and we learn to make adjustments. So I'm not expecting the same Cat Zingano. I mean, she was able to fight a couple months ago, and so she's amped to fight again, and that's what I need to focus on. I not need to be naive to the fact that she hasn't improved since then, so to speak.
So what will you be expecting then? Because obviously knowing that, you can improve every time, and the same for you as well. I'm sure there's things that you like to improve on each time. What would you expect to see from her July 14th?
I think she might pace herself a little bit more. I think she'll, I don't think she'll come out. I mean, I know she's going to come out strong. I think she's just going to continuously put the pressure on, something that we anticipate.
Mm. And training, obviously, how does that? I know we're about 2 months away from the fight now. So when does things start kind of gearing up a notch for you?
It's already been geared up.
Yeah.
Already been geared up. As soon as they say, "Do you want to fight?" Yes, geared up. Period. Because I'm always training, but I'm 40. I'm gonna be 41.
You don't look it.
So I need to get going.
Do you wish that you maybe got into MMA a little bit sooner, or
No.
Does it matter? No.
You know, I've been asked that question, and I thought about it, and I'm glad I didn't. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready mentally and financially. It just wouldn't have made sense. Plus, I've been able to raise my son and have a boy. You know, like a lot of these girls, they don't have kids yet, or they're just having them. I have my son. I bought my house before I was in the UFC. So I feel like I was more settled than if I would have started at an earlier age. I felt like I went through everything that I needed to go through. I went through college. I went through the agony of having multiple units in college and having a job and still competing in track and field. I think that geared me up for what I'm doing now as far as being a teacher and doing MMA and raising a child and doing photography. So I think I needed to go through everything I did in order to be prepared right now.
Mm. And of course, like we said, the title is in your sights. What did you think of, obviously, the recent title match that we had with Raquel Pennington and Amanda Nunes? What did you think of that fight?
Well, first, you got to give it up to Rocky. Man, she had a lot of heart. And I know a lot of people are down on her corner, but I think they made the right decision for her. And I know a lot of fighters would disagree. She was mentally out, but she needed to go out on her own terms and not just a single "I give up." The way she curled up and went into turtle, that was her giving up on her own terms. And I think she'll appreciate that more later. And other people might not understand that decision of her corner and herself, but they're happy with it, and who are we to judge? But I think she gave a lot of heart. I don't know if she was quite ready after a 1.5 year layoff and coming off of a broken leg, which ironically, when they did an interview of her, she stated that as the first kick, she felt that same exact pain, and maybe it just hadn't healed enough. Maybe she just needed a little bit more time. So I think, though, we're not done seeing the best of Rocky. This is not her last hoorah. But I think now she's going to be a little bit more prepared and not have a year off.
And with you fighting Cat Zingano, I know she's ranked just slightly ahead of you, but are you confident that will get you, a win over Zingano will get you closer to the title? And how far away do you think you would be?
I think it's easy for fighters to sit here and think about, once I do this, I should be able to get this. It's not for me. I cannot sit here and think when I beat Zingano, this is what's going to happen, because I still have to beat her. So I don't project or think about what's ahead. I need to think about what's here and now. And 100%, that's all I'm focused on. I'm not focused on what's next. What's next will come. Like my dad said, the Lord will open the door when he's ready to. And when the door is ready to close, the door will close. So I'm just taking one thing at a time right now.
And you said you had a dream about how you were going to get the finish last time. How do you think you get the finish over Cat Zingano?
I haven't had that dream yet. It has to be the night before.
The night
Ask
before.
me later.
Okay. I'll have to ask you before. Thank you very much for talking to me, Marion. I look forward to seeing your fight on July 14th. All the best. And enjoy the rest of your day.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day, and hope the kids are good for you.
Oh, they're awesome. I'm very lucky. I have really good kids.
See, oh, good. Well, thank you very much, and I hope I'll speak to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.